Well, hello guys, this is Brian from brianmjimenez.com, and today I'm going to show you step by step how to create a beautiful, simple, clean header for your fitness website using the Elementor page builder for WordPress. So let's dig right in. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new page, and I named my page fitness header. You would obviously be using probably your home page if that is the case, but for terms of this tutorial I named my page fitness header. And you obviously need to have the Elementor plugin installed on your WordPress installation and have it activated. So if you haven't done that, pause this video, go back, install the plugin, activate it, and then come back here. So I named my page fitness header, and I used my front page template. We want to use the Elementor full width template for for our page, because this header we want it to be full width. So depending on the theme that you're using, hopefully you have one that allows for full width. So we're gonna go now to the Elementor editor and start building our header. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to create a new section, and this section is gonna be a full column right here, and we're going to go to its settings. And what we want to do with its settings is we want to have this section to have a height which would be fit to screen. So essentially our header will be full width and full height as well. So that's something that we definitely want, and something that looks, you don't have to have it that way. It really just depends on the pictures that you select, but that is what we're going to be using for this demonstration. So now we're going to go to the style, and we're going to add a background. So make sure it's under normal, and we're going to create a classic background using an image. Now I already downloaded this image off of Pexels, and Pexels is a very nice website where you can download stock images for free. They're very good quality pictures. You can also use Unsplash. That is another website that I use to get stock images. So by default this image is very large, so what we're seeing here is this big corner right here on the small corner on this section of our background image. So what we want to do is we want to position first this image to be centered right, because this girl is going to be our main focus. As an attachment, I'm just going to leave it as default. I will place it as no repeat because we don't want to repeat this image. And on the size, I want it to cover. So what cover does is it pushes the image to its full height and then full width, so it actually is covering the whole page, let's put it that way. And as I said, I placed it center right because I want her to always stay on the image. She is the main focus of this image. And obviously if for example your image is the main focus is center or to the left, well then you would place it accordingly. So now that we have our background image, we're going to add a really cool effect with the background overlay, and I'm going to show you real quick how to do this. My overlay is not going to be a classic overlay, it's going to be a gradient overlay, and I'm going to show you real quick why. My main color that I'm going to be using is this blue that she has on her sports bra, which I grabbed with a color picker. There are different tools that you can use for selecting these colors, but I use the one that I have on my computer by default. So this color pair is going to be this light blue, and my gradient is going to be only the blue. I will eliminate this pinkish color I'm not gonna clear it out. What I'm gonna do is I will set the opacity to 0. Alright, perfect. Now once we have this, I'm gonna show you a little trick, which is I will center this position to 50 and this one to 50. And what that does is it creates a solid line. Instead of a gradient, it creates a solid line between the two colors. So between the blue and the transparent, basically. It creates a solid line, and that is exactly what I want for my effect and when it comes to this specific header that I'm creating. Now obviously this doesn't look good, and we are going to change the angle of the gradient, which is a really cool tool that Elementor has. And basically I am going to play with this angle till, yeah, that looks good. I like that. So what I did here is I placed the background and I placed an overlay, you know, a gradient overlay, and I angled it so it gives a little asymmetrical look to it. Asymmetric, I'm sorry. Okay, perfect. So we are good here. Let me probably play with the opacity, and let's put in here a 0.8, maybe 0.7. We'll see. Maybe we'll come back to this once we have some text on this side, because what my vision for this header is going to be the text right here on the left side, and then the main focus, which is her, on the right. So now that we have this, we're going to go and grab a heading text. Sweet. So right now we're going to use I don't know, a very generic title for this. Let's say let's get fit. Sweet. And I'm going to place this as an h1 tag, and I'm going to style this now. So I'm going to go to style tab. I'm going to click on color and change the color to white. Yeah, that looks, it's not that bad. Then I'm going to change the typography, and I'm going to change the size. Let's say 120. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's not bad. Probably do something smaller, like 100. And let's just do 100. So yeah, that's good. So I want to show you a little trick that I do, and this is with knowledge of custom coding in HTML. Instead of you know, as you can see, this text is a little too long, and I purposely want it to be into 2 lines, so I'll probably have let's get and then fit at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Instead of duplicating this widget and just erasing the text, I'm going to leave it into the same widget, and what I'm going to do is I will add this break tag right here. And so what this does is it's telling this text to break at this section right here, and we have this really nice text styled this way inside the same widget. So now we can play again with the size. Let's bring this to 120. Yeah, that looks nice. There's a big text right here. Perfect. And yeah, I'm gonna leave everything else the same way. That should be good. Now I'm going to add a smaller subheading. So let's say join us today. Whoops. Join us today. I'm going to leave that as an h2 tag, and on the style I'm going to place the color as white. Maybe that's a little too big. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's not that bad. Maybe I know what I'm gonna do. Instead of leaving this text like this, I'm going to give it a transformation of uppercase. And that makes it a little bit bulkier. Yeah, that's good. I like that. So lastly, I'm going to add a call to action button. And this button is going to say started. Get started. Also, I'm gonna link this button to hashtag start. And what this does is, instead of sending the visitor to a completely separate page, what I want to do is I'm going to link this button to a specific section on this page, and this is done by identifying the ID of the next element. So I will show you how to do this later on, but for now I'm just gonna leave it as hashtag start. So I'm going to place the color of this button as white, and the background I want to be transparent, so let's put the opacity to 0 right here, and then let's put a border around it. It's a little too wide, so let's just do 2 pixels on the width. So now we're going to add a hover effect to this button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click over the hover tab, and what this does is shows a little bit of options. We can change the typography, we can change the text color, the background color, and even the border color of this button whenever somebody hovers over it. But I'm not going to do that for this demonstration. I'm just going to add a grow effect to it. So now whenever anybody hovers over it, it grows, and it's a really nice animation. So to recap, what we did is we created a section, right? And this section is full width and full height. We added an overlay as a gradient, and this gradient we placed it on right in the middle so it creates a solid line. Then we angled that line and we added this text on top with a call to action button with an animation to grow. And this is a very clean, very simple header that you can add on your website, or actually any page that you want on your website, using the Elementor page builder. See you guys on the next tutorial. This was Brian from BrianMJimenez.com. Take care now.